The Fulltime Bosscast.
To the Fulltime Bosscast.
Navigating the journey from a 9-to-5 to full-time entrepreneurship with your hosts, Ryan the Boss, and Lady Shay. Presented by Morningstar Printing, where we print pretty much everything.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Fulltime Bosscast. Sponsored by Morningstar Printing, where we print everything. I am your host, Ryan the Boss, and I am here with Lady Shay. How are you, Miss Shay?
I'm doing well. I'm great here, chilling, doing my best, trying to bring that energy.
Doing what it do.
Yeah.
We are here still in the depths of winter here in Toronto, but we're warm inside here at the Photo Video Spot Studio. But yeah, so we got our first episode out the way.
We did.
It was a journey.
It was
a journey.
It was a learning experience, to say the least.
It was a learning experience.
Fun.
It was very fun.
But we learned a lot doing that first episode.
Yes.
So,
as I said in the intro from a couple videos back, if you want to go back and watch it, I said, we're not professional. I'm a professional printer, but
I'm professional at what I do.
Exactly.
But we're not professional
podcasters. But we're getting there. So keep on watching, keep on following us for this ride. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your shares, your likes, and everything. We're not here without the people. You know what I mean? Right? So we have a great episode here for you today. So I am not going to hold things any longer. We're going to get right into it. Here we go. Okay. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest for the day, Deanna Johnson of Braids Made Perfect. How are you, Deanna?
Hey, everyone. I am good. Like he said, my name is Deanna Johnson, and I am a protective hairstylist of Braids Made Perfect.
Braids Made Perfect. Okay, so as the new tradition here, that we're going to keep going. I don't get into what you do. I'm not going to give you a bio. You're going to tell us what you do. So talk to me, talk to Shay, talk to the people. Can you give me a little rundown of what you do, what you're about? Give me a little detail, stuff like that.
So I specialize in protective hairstyles, also known as just braiding hair. So I braid box braids, cornrows, all with extensions. And I'm well known for my signature style, which is called wholesome locks. They are 100% human hair locks that I started last year, and that's my
So
thing.
that's your trademark. Yeah. That's your thing. That's good. That's good. You got that brand. So you just like the braid. You're like the braid boss.
Yes. I'm the braid boss.
The braid.
Locks is my thing, but not with I don't do interlocking with regular hair. It's just with it's faux locks done with human hair.
Right. Okay. All right. So how long you been doing this for?
So I started in 2018. September of 2018. I'm in my third year.
3 years. And how's it been going so far?
It's been a ride.
It's been a ride.
It's been a ride.
Ebbs and flows, mountain highs, valley lows.
Oh man, every week is something different.
Yeah. Okay.
In the beginning though, there was a lot of lows.
Right.
Because like this podcast, you guys are trying to figure out, like you said, you're not a professional at this. I wasn't a business person. I was just, it was my side hustle for a long time. So I had to turn it into a full-time job. And so that's what made it really challenging while being a full-time mom. I
got you. So with that being said, you mentioned it was your side hustle, which is what a lot of people watching this, myself included, came from a business initially being a side hustle, are probably still in the midst of it being a side hustle. So what made you or what motivated you to make that transition from the side hustle to taking that chance to go doing it full time?
So it was a side hustle for years. I started braiding when I was 10. My mom's a hairdresser. I worked in the salon. In high school, I learned how to do extensions. And since then, it was something that, people would ask me to braid their hair. And I would charge a little $50 for a style that's probably worth now $300 or more. And so it was always something that I was doing on the side. When people find someone that they like, they want to keep going to them. So even when I branched off into other things, I went to school for early childhood education. I ventured off into like social work and working with kids in foster care and other things. I always had braiding on the side, and it was always something that I picked up around Christmas time because we always needed to make extra money.
Right.
So in 2018, I went through a separation with my husband, who I was married to for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And that was pretty much where...
10 years?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's where everything just went downhill for me mentally.
Right.
But I had to figure out, okay, what can I do to make money that will help me to provide for my kids, but not only that, also help me to be present.
So I don't know if you touched on this already. Maybe I missed it. But how many kids do you have right now?
I have 3. So I have one who I didn't give birth to him, but he's 20. And he lives on his own now. And then I have a 7-year-old and a 12-year-old, 2 girls.
Right.
So it was really important at the time. Like my 20-year-old was 16. So it was important for me to be present and help them emotionally deal with, dad no longer being in the house, which was
that's
really
a big transition.
That's
that's
transition.
Hard. My daddy wasn't around either.
Yeah.
But that's another story for another day.
Another day.
It was hard. And again, I'm someone coming from my father not being around. So I know, especially with girls, how, of an impact that is. So doing this full time was what I decided to do. And I remember sitting down one day and I'm like, God, how? I need to replace this amount.
Right.
How am I going to do that? And it was like, use what you have.
Yeah.
Right.
I've given you your hands. I've given you this gift
that you've been doing since 10 years old.
I could do it with my eyes closed. And it's like, use it. And it's like, but how? Like, I don't know nobody who does this and they make it, it's a living. So I started that in 2018 and I had ventured off into other things. So I speak as well as teach how to braid. Yeah.
Okay. So, cause that's what I feel is like, on a business tip, that's where some good money is at, is the teaching.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do the braid, a lot of people do, the actual service, but teaching it is where, it's where it's at. Right. Yeah. So, in this process, were there, other than what you mentioned to me, just to go in a little detail, you mentioned you had the kids, the foster kids, the husband leaving, how did this affect you and your business mind? Like, were you transitioning to the business while dealing with this? Or was this after? Was it during? Like,
no. So literally, I started the business a week after, 2 weeks after he left. And so I was transitioning from being a side hustle, it being a side hustle, to it being a full-time job.
So he gave you the kick that you needed then?
Yes.
It's like, bye.
Were you thinking of this being a business before
no.
that?
Really?
So that was never.
Oh, wow.
I actually tried in 2017 while we were married, and my youngest was 2 at the time, and it wasn't working. And I had people leave and not pay and say they're going to send an e-transfer and, homegirls at Carabana, full out costume. And I'm like, I'm still waiting for my money.
Yeah.
But I didn't have enough.
See that? when they're online flexing with the most and they owe you money and they say, I ain't got it. No, I hate that. Anyways.
And so for me, I didn't have a backbone. I was too afraid to address people. Like, yeah, she has my money, but I wasn't like, hey, I need my money. I didn't have that. But then this, I had no choice because I need to feed my kids.
If you hustle, you don't eat.
And work. So
it hits different.
It hits
when it's your everything.
Yeah. And because of that, I think that's why I've gotten to the level that I'm at, because it's like, if I don't do this, we're not eating.
You're not eating.
Or we can never move from here.
Different motivation now. Like before it was like, you didn't have that hard line motivation because you had, your husband's income, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So with that there now, I guess now that we're going on with the process, was there any fears diving into the full-time world now where it's like, do you have any fears, any self-doubts, anything, anything like that, for those watching that may be going through the same thing. Because one thing I'm sure of, there's a lot of braiders out there. You know what I mean? And to stand out, you got to be doing I see you online. You're very heavy with your social media, which is good. But I'll get back to that later.
Yeah.
But so was there any fears or, that you had to conquer going forward?
Yeah. The big one was knowing my worth and telling people my price.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, that was hard.
Yes.
But you know what helped me? When I raised my price and someone... So I created a booking app because, again, still learning how to use my voice, too afraid to tell people when they ask me, oh, so how much is it for that? And I'm like, I don't know. If I say 300, she's going to take it. And in the beginning, I was desperate. I'm like, I need money.
Right.
But I had to learn to turn people down and say, well, this is my price. And if they can't afford it, I was like, God, you're my provider. Yeah. So,
and you knew your worth.
I knew my worth, and that's where, I guess the whole thing with my marriage taught me is to know my worth. So when I put a price tag on it, created the booking app, put that out there, and I think my confidence, I gained confidence when I had people that paid for the highest service. I remember the first time I was like, $450. Oh my gosh. I would call my sister because she's like my cheerleader. I'm like, guess what, Melissa? Someone just bought the most expensive style.
Nice.
And they trusted me with it.
Yeah. But did you have to do it like this where you call the sister, but then when you call back the client, you're like, okay, well, thank you for your order. Because you got to be professional with them. But you're screaming.
So you don't even have to call the client.
Right.
But I'm just saying, you got to be all present.
Right.
But
and with that, it's hair is not included.
Right.
So that's an additional, sometimes $100. So this person just forked out $550. I was like,
wow. Because they see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And your confidence is, it kind of reflects to others to say, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is what you're getting. You know my work. You've heard about me. Ask about me if you don't know. and that's your money now. And that's good. And I think that's something that a lot of people need to, especially those who are just getting into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's easy. It's easy to just take any order. Boom, 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 boom. But there is a point in time where you're doing a disservice to yourself.
Right.
Yeah, you're devaluing your ability.
Yeah.
It's a price versus value thing.
Right.
Charge what you're worth because that's what the value is. If people value your work, they will pay. Yeah. And if they don't, they're not your customer.
Right. Exactly. And I had to learn that and learn it's okay to tell people no.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people come to me with styles, especially in the beginning. There's a new style every day.
Right.
I had to... where I'm at now is I only do these three things, and that's it. I'm not doing the other stuff because what ends up happening is when I'm trying something new, it doesn't reflect my work.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I'll do...
do what you do, you stay in your lane and do what you do properly to the best of what you do.
Or I have models. Yes. And I've had, in the beginning, I had a lot of people that I got to come and get their hair done for free. But Instagram didn't know it was for free.
Yeah. No,
and I promoted it.
Diddy said you gotta fake it till you make it.
Yeah. And I'm still there some days because I need to put some stuff out there.
Right.
And
well, if anything, like we were talking about before, if you have the glue wig, I can come through. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'll bring.
And there's things that I refuse to do, and I've learned to because I'm big on protective hairstyles, I don't want people to leave my hair and not have a hairline.
Yeah.
You know?
Edges are important.
It is. We live in a whole different world. Back in the day, we didn't care about that.
It's a different time now.
Edges are important to the Black female.
It is.
I wouldn't know. Sorry. Sorry.
I could glue some edges
we can try something out. Well, afterwards we'll.
People tattooing edges on now. It's a whole mess.
Tattooing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Man, the price of beauty. Yeah. Jeez. All right. So now that we're moving on with this now. One thing that, another question that some people had or some people posed to me is how did you make the transition financially? Because there is a point where, you're not doing your full time, you're not doing your job or whatever you're doing before, and now you're doing this business. So there is that gap where money's probably not, rolling in. What did you do?
had to pivot and figure out, okay, like I learned January and February is slow.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
And if I don't grind in December, then I won't have enough to carry over to January and maybe February. But I also learned that this wasn't enough.
Right.
Like it wasn't enough for me to provide for my kids.
Right.
I had to add something. So that's where I added teaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this year I'm adding speaking. But I added teaching, and what teaching allowed me to do is get a huge lump sum all at once.
Oh, nice. Yes. And then before they come, you got that money.
And I was shocked last year, or 2020, I did a hands-on class, charged $950 per person. The kit was like $150. I had 5 people purchase it.
Look at that.
Like,
and I'm assuming they were all satisfied.
And it was scary to put myself out there, because you put yourself out there and people don't always comment or but there's people behind the scenes who won't comment. They're just sending you DMs.
They're preying, you know.
So
they're preying.
Right. But that was what I learned. I had to add more. And then I also, when you're an entrepreneur, your full time is 24/7. It's not 9 to 5.
There's no So
I could work, Caravan a weekend. Or Christmas, I would start at like 6 a.m. and end at like 12, day off. Take a little break. But I realized mentally my body can't take that.
Right. So this is from the beginning you were teaching? Like, what about like from when you first started financially? Like, how did you
When I first started, it was just
like, did you save up any money before? Or were you just like, listen, I'm gonna go with God and God gonna deal with it?
It was really, I'm gonna go with God. I mean, I was still fostering.
Right.
And that
they do, the government does help out with that as well too, right?
Yeah. It still wasn't really not like, enough. No.
But it's enough to like keep you afloat, I'm assuming. Right.
And then there came a time after like that summer when I started, it was like, okay, we're done with this now. Right. So I really had to dive in full time, and it was all really just faith. Right. Because I had nothing to say. I was a stay-at-home mom before. Never really I didn't have income. I didn't have anything. Yeah. So I started.
You just realized you had to do something different. Yeah. There was like something burning inside.
So like you were doing it as a side hustle. You tried it in 2017. You decided it didn't work. No. What did you do differently the next time that made it work?
I had to look at it as a business and not a side hustle.
Got you.
And so my mindset,
the perspective was different.
Yeah. Meaning my hours. I'm not taking, people can't just come to me and say, oh, I need my hair done right now. Can you get, no, you don't work like that. Right. A salon doesn't work like that.
They don't do it.
No.
They don't do it. You come into a salon.
Book your appointment. We do a consultation sometimes because I need to see what I'm working with. And I've been okay with people saying, okay, no, I'm not going to do it. But that's what helped me. Right. That's changing my mindset and knowing my worth.
And knowing your worth. That's big. That's big. So like, is there anything, for lack of a better term, personal that you had to overcome, like that you had to deal with? I know we touched on some things here, but is there anything that, you may want someone to hear, like anything that you want to touch on that aspect?
I think for me, what was hard is that I'm going through the process of someone who was always there, no longer being there and dealing with clients. And I'm sorry to all my clients out there. Y'all heard my story because it was healing for me. I needed to get it out. There were days where clients would come in and I would be dealing with like, a horrible message or something that just threw me off mentally. And so I wasn't doing well mentally, but what braiding hair helped me to do was to trust the process. You have a client come in and you know what it's like because you just did sister.
Yeah, I did.
It takes a long time. And there were nights where I'm like, I'm tired. I'm done. And like my younger one is like, I want my mommy. She'll sit on the stairs and wait for me. And it's like, I just want to be done with this. And it's through that I would pray and I'm like, God, help me. Cause like the client can't leave with half her head.
Yeah.
Plus, I have someone else tomorrow. It's not like I could tell her to come back.
Right.
So I had to trust the process.
And so sorry to interrupt, but you're going through this along with the husband probably sending message, you and him going back. Because I don't know, most breakups, they're not clean.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when there's kids involved, especially when there's trauma involved. It's not clean. So you're dealing with all of that while people are coming to you. So you're probably braiding hair, the tears going on in their hair and stuff. And they're like, why
I had one
why is there water in my head, yo?
One client was like, she left and she was like, what do you need? Is there anything you need? Like, she felt so sorry for me because at the time, that's all I was doing. And I was trying to figure out, how am I going to replace this other income now, the income of fostering being gone?
Right.
And to her, it looked impossible. And I'm like, okay, God, yes, I'm going to teach. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to teach. But it was difficult, and mentally I wasn't doing well. So when people come to my Instagram page, I'm an advocate for mental health because I know that I wasn't doing well and I was in a really dark place. But braiding hair was therapeutic for me. It's like knitting. Especially
in the Black community, when it comes to mental health. We're not, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm talking like the West Indian community. Like if you're feeling that, deal with it. You know what I mean? Go drink some tea or something. Like,
right?
Maybe not tea, but you know what I'm saying? But like, we're not taught to address it.
Right.
You know, like what you're going through is not cool. Like, you know, and
as a Black woman, I know doing hair is therapy.
Right.
It is like, there's so many things and, jokes about it and whatever, like girls will go to the salon or they're getting their hair done, but it's a real thing. Like,
it's a very intimate experience though.
Very intimate. Like, we're very, very, like, especially now, like, our hair is so celebrated now in our community, our natural hair, like, so doing protective styles and doing that and preserving the natural hair of people, I could imagine had to be very therapeutic, and then talking about things. But so how did you have any like self-care or anything that you intentionally did to nurture your mental health? Because you were aware, obviously, that you were in a dark place.
And you're going through the most while doing business.
And unfortunately, I can relate. So, what did you do anything to keep you going? Because a lot of people can't keep going. A lot of people can't keep going. A lot of people, there may be somebody watching right now that might be ready to, throw it all away. And, the topic of mental health is very important. So did you have anything that you did? And like,
my faith, community,
good people around you,
around me. Lots of support.
Shout out all the good people around you.
Yes. Lots of support. And for me, the thing that pushed me the most is that I don't want this to continue. Like, I want it to end with me.
Right.
The trauma, the stuff that I've experienced, the quitting when things get hard. I wanted my kids to see what it looks like.
Right.
Which
go through it to see the result.
My eldest daughter is she's so proud of me, but she's saying that more now.
That's good. That's amazing.
It's like, and I'm like, she's like, wow, Mama, do you think you would have ever been here if you were still there? And I'm like,
yeah.
How old are you again?
And it's just like, like she can't wait for me to teach at her school and do workshops and stuff like that.
Isn't that amazing when your kids, like, it's one thing to do your thing, but when your kids are looking up to you.
And they're cheering me on and, but I looked at them and I remember some mornings waking up and just crying and just like, I was crying a lot, crying and looking at them. They're girls.
Right.
I repeated a cycle that my mom didn't tell me, this is how I want you to live. It was just what I saw.
Right.
And I said, it's going to end with
You're breaking that. Hey.
I don't want this to continue.
This ends today. Amen.
So that was my push to remember, them, they're watching. My son is watching, and that nothing good comes easy. So what I'm reaping now, those tears were real tears.
Exactly. That's true. Put in work.
Yeah.
Discipline breeds success. That's why I got that on the wall, right? So you gotta stay disciplined.
Had to throw
throw it to the wall, right? Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up, but I do have one more question before you go. What advice would you give bosses and upcoming bosses and people coming up, looking to begin to work, like starting their own business, like what advice would you give somebody?
So know your worth. Whatever, do your research.
Yeah.
I priced stuff based off of what other braiders that provided the same kind of quality of service I did. I looked at what their prices were, so that it wasn't like my prices were high, but no, do your research, know what the prices are for whatever it is that you want to sell. Use Instagram is where I get
everybody.
99.9% of my clients are from Instagram.
Yeah.
Mainly because what I do is they need to see it.
Yeah. It's visual.
Facebook might be different for like a podcast
right.
but it's a visual thing. So I've used that.
Use all the social media tools you have.
Every single one of them. Yeah. I know there's LinkedIn. I'm not there yet. But.
I tried it. I'm just like, I can't deal with this. Before we started the interview, you mentioned something that I just wanted to make sure we brought up as far as registering your business.
Oh, yes.
So I don't know if you want to touch on that before we go.
So again, when I said I had to change my mindset and look at it as let me just be real with you guys. My nail came off. And so for the longest while, I've been trying to like hide it, but I need to use my hands. Exactly. So, okay. So, I had to change my mindset and not see it as a side hustle, but see it as a full-time business.
Right.
This is something that I want to establish. I want, you got to pay your taxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I registered my business, and the best thing I could have done for myself is register my business in 2019. Right. I didn't register it in 2018 because I had just started in September. It was only 2 months. So 2019, registered the business, and then COVID hit. And what was supposed to be the worst time of my life turned out to be the best because I was able to get government support.
Yeah.
I got the CERB.
Trudeau was just throwing out money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
He was like Oprah.
Actually opened up access to other things by registering your business.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Having a registered business.
So people,
access to
those are you.
Those things.
Yes. So those of you who are looking to get into business, register your business. You may want to say, nah, man, I'm trying to deal with the government and that. No, like
do it.
There's stuff that you can unlock.
Yeah.
There's stuff that they have to offer,
there's
especially
a lot.
The black businesses lately.
Yeah, like right now they really are throwing out a lot of money. And I was so blessed to have gotten the small business grant. It was a lot, and a lot of people didn't get it. But for some reason, I don't know, I got it. But they ask a lot of questions, and the big one is your business registered? After that, open a business account, which I didn't have. But because of COVID and how things worked out, they knew, as long as I opened it. So know your worth, and treat it as a business.
And get it registered.
And trust the process.
Trust the process. Thank you. Wow, that was I got some gems. She was dropping bars, Shay. She was dropping some gems. So I'm gonna when we're cutting this up and putting it online, we're gonna be dropping some clickbaits, yo. So no, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. For everything, and I hope that all the best to you and your business and your family going forward. And we're here to support in any way we can as well too. We'll revisit the whole wig glue thing later on. And
we'll stick to the
thank you so much for being so transparent. Like this is why we do this. Like to actually hear some of the struggles you went through. Like I know there's a lot of people out there struggling, and it helps to see somebody that's on the other side of it. Right. So thank you for your openness and transparency. I personally appreciate it very much. I know lots of people will. So.
Look at that.
Wow. Thank you.
So before you go, just tell the people real quick how they can contact you. I'll probably put it under your screen as well too. But
so you can find me on Instagram at Braids Made Perfect. You could also go to www.braidsmadeperfect.com. And if you have a child who is looking to learn how to braid, I will be introducing something this month where every month I'll be teaching a virtual course. So
look at
go
that.
Follow.
The money's just money on money right there. Anyways, thank you very much, Deanna. And have a great one. Thank you everybody for watching.
Bye.
Have a great week. Have a great day. All that stuff. Stay warm, stay safe.